I was teamed up with another PI that had been working for this company for a while. I thought, great, I'll be able to learn a lot from this guy. And boy, did I ever learn a lot. The case was in a rural town. The subject was an injured worker with a workers' comp claim. This case had been worked twice before by another firm with no luck. The subject was observed several times, but was always lost during the follow. To further complicate things, she lived with her sister. Now, we had good physical descriptions of both our subject and her sister. There were 2 vehicles, both registered to the residence. Both vehicles came back registered in both sisters' names. Day 1 of a 3-day assignment. Client's request, stay out, sun up to sundown each day. I met up with the other PI at a coffee shop, and we discussed ideas. Him being the more experienced, I let him take the lead. At the residence, 1 vehicle was parked on the street directly in front of the house. The other vehicle was parked in the alleyway out back. He said he was going to park in a parking lot about 1,000 feet from the residence where he could observe the front of the residence and one of the alley exits. He asked me then to sit on a side street at the other end of the block where I could see the vehicle on the street and see the other alley exit. Now, this guy had a brand new white large SUV, and he parked it in a parking lot pointing directly at the residence. This parking lot was not used. The businesses were all closed. So he and his big white SUV were the only things sitting there in that empty parking lot. His wife told him he couldn't tint the windows, so there he sat inside his shiny new white SUV pointing directly at the subject's residence with no window tinting. At one point, about 2 hours in, he asked me to drive by and see if I saw any activity. I did, and I saw no activity, but I noticed he was just sitting there in plain sight for everyone to see. I told him this, but he seemed to just shrug it off. This video is sponsored by OREP Insurance and Working PI Magazine. OREP is a leading provider of private investigator liability insurance. Visit orep.org for a quote today. At about the 5-hour mark, we saw a neighbor go up to our subject's house. The neighbor came from the house on the corner directly across the street from where the other investigator was parked. He then asked me to drive by again and see if I saw anything. I decided a drive-by was probably not prudent as I had only seen 2 or 3 cars all day, so I went on foot surveillance. I walked along the sidewalk on the opposite side of the street. As I approached the subject residence, I see the front door open and 2 ladies walk out. Trying not to make eye contact, I see that both are looking directly at the other PI, and there he is with his camera up in the windshield shooting video. Now, hang on, it only gets better. I walk around the block. After I get past the view of the residence, I stop and I call him, but he's too busy. He's shooting his video. He can't answer his phone. I get back to my car, and then he calls me. He is like, man, that was amazing. I got tons of video. I'm like, yeah, but they were looking right at you. He's like, nah, I could see. They were watching the trains or something behind me. I'm like, okay. Was one of them our subject? Absolutely, he says. Another hour goes by, and then I see one of the cars coming out of the alleyway. I let it go a couple of blocks, then I start following. As I pull out, here goes the other PI flying past me. He saw it too, and he was chasing her hard. I called him, and I said, dude, I was covering this in. And he's like, yeah, but you were letting her get away. I then said, I'm not sure it's even our subject. She fit the sister's description more. He's like, nope, that's the girl that was on the front porch. We followed her to a McDonald's drive-thru. She gets an order, then she goes home and she parks on the street out in front of the house. He goes right to the parking lot and starts shooting his video, even after I told him I was about 2 blocks away already shooting video. So there he is in his shiny new SUV shooting video in plain sight. Again, no tinting. But wait, you won't believe what he does next. Now, after she walks slowly into the house, watching him the entire time, he decides it's time for a smoke. He calls me and says, man, that was good. What a rush. I need to smoke now. Then I see him get out of his car right there in the middle of that empty parking lot and stands there and smokes a cigarette. I am like, dude, you shouldn't do that. He tells me my wife won't let me smoke in the new car, and I always get out of my car to smoke anyways. Day 1 comes to an end. We meet up, go over our notes, and he says that he will send the client an update. Next day, we start the same way. We're discussing our strategy over at the coffee shop. I tried to convince him to switch up locations, but nope, he wasn't going to go for any of that. So there he goes in his shiny new SUV, parks right in the middle of that parking lot. I parked in a different location this time, next to a fence where I could still see everything, and I sat and I watched. Then my phone rings. About 1 hour in, it's the other PI. He's like, looks like I have company here. Then he sets his phone down. I hear some people talking in the background, but I can't make out exactly what they're saying. So I decide to do a drive-by and make sure that he's okay. Now, as I round the corner, I couldn't believe my eyes. 2 cop cars and 3 cops sitting there with him talking outside. I'm like, okay, well, he's an expert. He should know what to do. As I drive by, I see him pointing at the house that we were watching. Then he's pointing at me and he's waving at me. And then I hear him yell, "Hey, John, come here." I couldn't believe it. I drive down the street a couple of blocks out of sight of the subject residence. Then I started walking slowly towards them on the opposite side of the street. I knew they saw me. I was hoping one of the cops would come talk to me. And that is exactly what happened. I didn't want to be seen talking to them in that parking lot and blow my vehicle's cover. It went very well with the cop. He just looked at my ID, he ran me real quick and said, "You know, you guys need to try to hide a little more." And he kind of laughed. In talking to him, I got enough information that I believed our subject or her sister are the ones that called in a suspicious vehicle. Now the cops leave. He finally decides to move. He parks at the opposite end of the block where he can watch the residents. When we talked, he didn't believe me that it was the subject or his sister that called. He insisted it was probably the Snoopy neighbor. About 30 minutes go by and here comes the same lady as before out of the house and into one of the cars. I got a good look and I was sure it was the sister. He didn't believe me and he went off following her like his life depended on it. I followed at a good distance and I paralleled the streets that they were on. She went to a liquor store, bought some smokes in the drive-up, then went to a little drugstore, then went home. The other PI, so gung-ho to get video, he went back to that parking lot to get his video with his shiny new SUV. After he gets his video and she goes inside, the door opens up and out come 2 ladies. One of them was the one we followed. The other one bearing a remarkable resemblance of the first lady, utilizing a cane in her right hand. They both sat down on some chairs on the front porch, staring at the other PI. Now he's standing outside of his shiny new SUV, smoking a cigarette, and I don't think he even noticed them. I called him. He grabs his phone, then he notices as he answers. Now the one we followed pulls up one of those disposable cameras and starts taking pictures of him. She then hands the camera to the other lady who continues to take pictures. Then the first lady gets up with another camera in hand and starts walking towards the other PI. When she gets to the street, she pulls that camera up and she starts taking pictures of him. I suddenly hear him, "Crap, I'm burned, I'm out of here." He starts his car, he throws it into gear, and he takes off down the street like a banshee. So we regrouped after that and I took control of the case. I told him that he could go sit on the main drag where we had seen the other lady go before, and if they leave, then he could help me with the follow. That was the most likely place that they would go. I then set up in my position a couple of blocks away and ended up the day right there with no more sighting. Day 3 rolled around. The other PI was about an hour and a half late. I think he contemplated not even working that day, and who could blame him at this point? The only action that we had that day was a sister going to McDonald's and going to get smokes. I followed her along parallel streets when I could, and at a distance when I couldn't go along a parallel street. No signs of our subject that day. After the case ended, I had a long talk with my client. They asked me how the other guy did, and they told me that they had a lot of problems with him getting burned, like 70 to 80% of the time. They asked me to write up a report of what happened and what could have been done better to avoid getting burned on that case. I got that same case back 3 other times, and I got great video of the subject multiple times without getting burned a single time.